Hello, Todd Clemens, Okeechobee Livestock Market, and here's your weekly market report. It only took me 3 times to get that right. But it's kind of the way the week was. Monday and Tuesday, we had a huge run of cattle. Monday, we started to sell out at 12 o'clock with 700 head signed up, entered into the computer. Ended up with over 1,600 head for the day. So probably a lot of that had to do with fog. It was really been bad. You guys know that you've been out there early in the mornings gathering and all this. You can't even see cows until the sun comes up. So cattle got in here late, but they kept coming all day on Monday. And also Sunday we had a lot of cattle come in over the weekend. But 1,600 head for Monday, and then it tapered down to a little over, well, close to 1,100, I guess, Tuesday. So for the week, it was a big week, and we keep thinking these runs are going to slow down, but they're still out there, and certainly the high prices have to be the motivating factor for people selling cattle. And we may wake up here in a few months and not have very much left to sell because people are taking advantage of the high prices there are today. But it's great to have that option. We've been talking about being able to sell your calves off your cows a little bit sooner, a little bit younger, and let the cows mend up. And we're seeing some really good calves in here for this time of year. In February, we're seeing some good 3 and 4 weight calves, a few 5 weight calves, and a few people still selling calves that were weaned from last year, last year's calf crop that were weaned and showed up at the sale barn this week, and those calves really rang a bell. They were straightened out, had their shots, and been weaned for 60 days or more, and that's what those buyers love to have. They just handle a lot better, and they're easier to ship, and they survive a lot better when you work them and put them on a truck and send them to wherever they're going. They can handle all that stress a lot better. So this weaning deal is working out. I haven't put a pencil to it. You can tell us, but I know that feed is down, and the cost of gain on weaning cattle is probably affordable to do, especially with these calves bringing as high as they are. So that might be something you want to look into. But on the other hand, it's hard to turn down what these calves are bringing right straight off their mamas. There was some good 3-weight calves that came in, a pretty good slug of them. I know Rafter B had some really good calves in here. Kerry Lightsey had some calves in here weighing in the 4 weights, and those calves are bringing $1,600 on the front end steers, and that's a lot of money for a calf that's just 4 months old. Calf market was a little up and down. Monday seemed to be a little bit higher compared to last week. Calves Monday were probably $4 to $5 or $6 higher than they were the week before. And then Monday, sometime during the day, the futures really kind of went down, and I don't know that they tanked or not, but they were, futures were hit pretty hard. Of course, the Mexican tariff, the Mexican cattle coming from Mexico that are re-entering back into the U.S., they were stopped there at the border for the screwworm deal, and those cattle are coming back across. And then we've been hearing about the Mexican and the Canadian tariffs that were supposed to be imposed. So all that had a factor on the futures on the CME live cattle and feeder cattle exchange there. It's been off pretty good bit for the last few days. And Monday we came to work, and everything seemed to be normal and was really good. Calves were selling good. Cows were a little bit off. And then Tuesday it looked like calves might have cheapened up a little bit. Not that you would could tell it that much, because they're still bringing a lot of money. But there's some fundamental, there's some things going on maybe affecting the market, and it's kind of a little bit in a volatile position. And when it's gotten as high as it is now, it's trying to find out where it's headed, and it's been going up every week, and you just can't sustain that. Somewhere it's going to have to find some level ground and level off, and people need to take a breather and see what this market's going to do. So we're going to be in a little holding pattern here, I think, with these high calf prices. But you know, don't be alarmed. It's not anything to really be alarmed about. It's a very high level, highest as we've ever seen it, which is a little bit on the scary side. But if you take into account of population growth, inflation, all the things that make these prices high, the retail end of everything is higher, and cattle are just at another level, and it's going to go up and down, and it's going to fluctuate. But we may not get back down to the lowest prices that we've seen before. At least I hope. That would be great if that were to happen. If you look at the reports about how many cattle are being processed through the big four, the main packers that report their how many head are processed for the week, and we're below 600,000 head now, probably 580 or 590. That's 580 or 90,000 a week is what they're anticipating on killing this week, and compared to last year, which is probably 100,000 more than that. But I got to thinking about that. You know, the kill rate is lower, but these packers, they're not making money. They're having to pay the feeders for these cattle, and their live prices on fat cattle right now are well over $2. They hit $2.10 there for a little bit last week, and I think today maybe this week they're trading somewhere in the 205 to 206, 207 range. So that's just about as high as it's ever been, and box beef prices are very high. They're even like as high as they were back in the COVID days. Those box beef prices are well over $3, probably up there around $3.25 or so. So it's at a really high level, and these big major packers, the reports that we get on how many cattle are being killed a week, I don't know that that's taken into account all of the regional packers. And we all know that there's been a lot of these, you can call them mom and pop processing plants, but they're killing. There's a lot of these little niche slaughterhouses and processing plants that are, if you add them all up, they're adding up to quite a few cattle being used on a weekly basis that may not be on these reports. And I don't know if that's probably needs to be fact checked, but I think there's just a lot of cattle being processed that may not be on those reports, because if you're not processing more than 1,000 head a week, I don't think it has to be reported. So all that's just competition, and that's what's making these cattle high, is because of that competition. There's some of these fat cattle that go through the livestock markets, that go through price discovery processes, not around here, but out in the Midwest, up there in Iowa, places like that. There are auctions that sell these fat cattle, and the packers show up to these auctions and buy these cattle. Well, the big major four packers are there, but also the regional packers are there too, and they're being very competitive, and sometimes they're paying more than the big guys are paying. So you add all that up, and that competition is what's driving this market. And now it just remains to be seen if we can if the retail end, if the consumers will continue to buy beef products at this level. That's going to be the telling factor. But for now, it's all good. Look for these calves to kind of hover around being steady, and the supplies are surely going to start slowing down, and that will help demand because of fewer cattle to look at. So that should keep these prices up there pretty good. On the slaughter class side, you've seen cows extremely high due to the stormy, wintry, icy conditions over the last few weeks, but last week and this week coming, there hasn't been any major weather out there to keep the supply lowered, and so things are opened back up, and the supply chain is back kind of the way it is supposed to be, and cows are under a little bit more pressure because there's more supply. Cows were off $4 to $5, I guess, and but still, cows are the best end of these cows are bringing up there in the 130s and 140s, and it's still a good market, and it's a good time if you still have cows that you need to cull or that aren't checking out, you're preg checking, and you've got those cows that aren't bred. It's a good time to bring them on in. So good market. Everything, weather's great, nice and sunny here in South Florida. One thing we have coming up, I want you to be reminded of, is a customer appreciation dinner that we're putting on here Thursday, February the 20th. Just a couple weeks away. It's a customer appreciation dinner. We're going to have a social hour at 5 o'clock and have dinner at 6. And maybe we'll have a few words to say about our question and answer time if you want to do that. But we're not selling anything. We're not trying to bring you here to have to listen to any propaganda, I guess you could say, or whatever. But it's just time to get together and show you that we appreciate your business, and we'd love to have you. That's February the 20th, say 5 o'clock for social hour and dinner at 6. Right here at Okeechobee Livestock Market, just a couple of weeks away. That kind of about wraps up the market report, so we'll tell you about the high prices this week. Rafter G Ag Service from Avon Park topped the calf market with a 225-pound little bull calf, I think he was. It brought $6.05 a pound, $6.05. That calf was bought by Rush Creek. And on the slaughter cow side, Sterling Outdoors LLC from Winter Park topped the cow market with a 1,255-pound cow that brought $1.59. That cow was bought by Florida Beef. That's your market report. Thanks for tuning in. Thumbs up, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll keep these reports coming to you. We'll tell you what we think. It could be right or wrong, but it's what we think. Thank you. See you next week. Hello, Okeechobee Livestock Market.
Okay, never mind. Take 2. That's the first time he's messed up.
Hello, I'm Okeechobee Livestock Market, and here's your Todd Clemens market report. And that's about the way it was around here this week. It's kind of lopsided. No.